It looks like we're working, which is pretty awesome. So, Happy New Year, anybody. A little bit of a late night. Or, being in Hawaii, the locals really like fireworks. So they shoot off fireworks basically for probably close to 10 hours prior to the new year actually coming in. So that was a thing. So it's a little bit a little late. So apologies for that. The stream is also delayed because the parking lot has been being vacuumed for the last 2 hours because of all of the powder and gubbins from all of the fireworks. So yeah, so that's a thing. So we're a little late because of that, but we're rocking and rolling. Down to the beach we're strolling. Yesterday I broke out my wet palette that my husband got me. This guy right here. I think I showed him off on my Christmas haul stream. This is the Red Grass War Games wet palette. It is very, very, very nice. And I tried painting with it yesterday, and it was really, really good. So I painted my last model of 2022. So this guy here, this is Boggle. He is going to be the ranger for my Rangers of Shadowdeep team. Because I'm going to play me some rangers. I don't know. I had never really considered Rangers of Shadowdeep before, but I've been chain watching all of the Ash Barker videos and getting really super hyped into it and excited. And I get to use my meat trees, which is awesome because I love that terrain so much. Which is why I went and got some more meat trees, which I have to paint. But we're not painting them today. But yeah, I love this terrain so much. So just an amazing terrain set. So I'll probably get those primed today, and then we could rock and roll with painting them. I've been reading the Rangers of Shadowdeep rulebook pretty much every night for the last couple days, and I thought it would be fun to go through and make our team together. And it's probably weren't you going to play Star Wars Stargrave? And I still am. I am just a little delayed with the terrain. Because I kind of ran into a snag with it, and I'm not super sure how to overcome it, and it's kind of killed my enthusiasm a little. So one of the big terrain pieces I want to have a landing pad, and for whatever reason, so I had to split the file for the landing pad. And then for whatever reason, it curved really strangely when it cured. And I've never seen that happen before. And I'm not super sure what to do with it, to be honest. How to fix it. It's really weird, because you end up getting this, weird curve. It's not really curved in anywhere else, right? It's very strange. I'm not super sure how to fix it. So, yeah. So it kind of killed my enthusiasm a little bit because I'm not super sure what to do with it. This guy's a little curved, but that's okay. It's nothing, right? And it still lines up. I'm just not super sure how to fix it. So, yeah. So it's kind of slowed my roll a little bit with the Star Wars stuff because of that. But yeah, I'll get it fixed. It's just kind of weird, you know? So, once I get all that worked out and all that train finished, I will start my Stargrave campaign. But until then, I've been, I don't know, pretty hyped for Rangers of Shadowdeep. And I get to play with my little goblins. They're going to be my buddies. They're going to be my rangers. So I kind of already, like, points-wise kind of made my team, but we're going to actually go through and sort of do it together. Should be pretty fun. Not super sold on the blue skin, so we might try something else, but it's also not bad. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. Let's swap over to the Hooja Wampets. So let me pull that up. All right. There we go. Look at that. Fancy. So this is the Rangers of Shadowdeep Deluxe Rulebook from DriveThruRPG. I also bought the version on Amazon, but apparently the version on Amazon is not the most updated one. So if I'm going to be super honest, I would avoid everything on Kindle, because you also can't get all the supplements there. But you can get everything on DriveThruRPG and the Facebook group. There's a ton, like, literally, like, dozens and dozens of things put out on Facebook, which is really cool. But this is the Rangers of Shadowdeep Deluxe Edition here. It's got some cool color. It's got some cool art. For those that don't know, Rangers of Shadowdeep is intended to be like a single and co-op fantasy like tabletop game, right? So this is kind of similar to this year. I played a lot of Space Station Zero, had an awesome, wonderful time with it. Easily my second favorite game of the year. I loved Space Station Zero, taking my little space otters through. This is kind of similar to that. So you're going to get a bunch of scenarios, and you're going to make a little team. It's going to tell you sort of like what monsters and bad guys and stuff you need and all. It's pretty cool. Alright. So, what we're going to do is we're going to first create a ranger, and that's going to be like our avatar in the game, right? Like that's like our player character. And then we're going to have a bunch of like buddies and crewmen and companions and stuff with that ranger. So first thing we need to do is pick our ranger. I've already showed off mine. That's going to be that little goblin I showed off, Boggle. And then we're going to see what we do to make our ranger. Now you've made the basic decisions about your character, it is time to determine exactly what powers, abilities, and skills your ranger possesses. Each ranger starts with 10 build points. You can spend these build points to increase your stats, buy heroic abilities and spells, hone your skills, and even recruit companions to join you on your adventures. Okay, so ranger, basic stats. Here we go. So, what we're going to do is we're going to pop over to this. This is the fillable ranger sheet that is up on DriveThruRPG. And it is going to allow us to basically like fill in information with a ranger, so I don't have to have pen and paper, right? I really don't feel like mucking with pen and paper. It's much cooler to have it on digital. So, alright, so we know our ranger is Boggle. He's going to be level 0. Or do they start level 1? I don't know. Okay, what are the standard stats? Let's see, we have move 6, fight plus 2, shoot plus 1. Okay, 6 plus 2. Oh, shit. Plus 2. Okay, this fillable form is not set up super correctly, but it's okay. Armor 10. And then they have will +4 and health of 18. And this is going to be our buddy. This is his basic stats. Okay. Okay. So let's see. In Rangers of Shadowdeep, companion, evil character, blah, 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 blah. You have stat interactions. There are 6 basic stats. These are pretty much the same stats from Stargrave and Frostgrave. Very, very similar. So you're going to have move, which is your move, how far you move in inches. Your fight, which is like how well you are in melee combat. Your shoot, which is how good you are in ranged combat. Your armor, this is how much like damage you absorb from the enemy's attack rolls. Will, this is used for things like special occurrences, I think like resisting spells and stuff. And your health is sort of how much life you've got. Each stat will have a number associated with it. The higher the number, the better. The specific meaning of each number will be explained later in the rules. You may now choose to spend up to 3 of your build points to increase your ranger's stats. For each build point you spend, you may increase up to 1 stat, except for armor, by 1. You may only increase each stat once at this time. Once you've decided on how many build points to spend on stats, write all your stats in the corresponding box on the ranger state. Okay, so we're going to do that. So we're going to go ahead. I've got my little boggle. So whoa. Okay, so let's take a look at little boggle. There he is. Right there. There's our buddy. There he is. So he's got a big scythe thing, with like a shabu shabu pot of spells and ingredients and stuff. I really like the idea that maybe he's like a kind of support-ish main character. So that is to mean that he has a bunch of like spells and stuff that support the team, but can sort of also just be on his own. Like I don't need to keep another character with him to keep him safe or healed up or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is, he doesn't really have any shooting weapons. He has a lantern with a little fairy in it, who is color shift paint, but it's really hard to see because it came out really dark. So I'll probably repaint her. But he's got a lantern with a little fairy. He's got a hook scythe with a pot of, like a shabu shabu pot of ingredients. And then he's got his weird wonky boggle eye, which is where I got the name from. I like the idea that maybe the eye can like see the future or something. I thought that might be kind of a fun, kind of cool idea. Alright, so jumping back here. So he can, we increase up to 3 of these. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to increase life because that's super important. We're going to increase his fight. And he doesn't have any shooting weapons, so we're not going to worry about shoot. So then we can either increase move or will. I think we'll go ahead and we'll just increase move up to 7. So any chance you can increase your stats in these kind of games, it's usually pretty good. Alright, so we use 3 of our build points on stats. And now we have heroic abilities and spells. Are what separate rangers from most soldiers who fight in the war against the Shadowdeep. A player may spend up to 5 build points purchasing heroic abilities and spells for his ranger at a cost of 1 build point each. Each heroic ability may only be purchased once. Each spell may be purchased as many times as the player wishes. Heroic abilities include such items as special combat maneuvers, survival tricks, and even the occasional bit of luck. Each heroic ability states when exactly during the game turn it could be used. Heroic abilities can use as a free actions. Spells have to be used as an actual action. Alright, so let's see what we have. We've got Deadly Shot and Deadly Strike. Those make crits happen more often. Distraction allows us to modify how people are moving around. Dive for cover allows us to dive for cover. It's pretty good. This ability can be used at any time. The figure regains the use of any one spell that it has cast during the scenario. Wow, that's kind of cool. Blend into the shadows basically lets them like hide. Call to action. Let's see what that says. Okay, it can activate one more companion in the ranger phase. That's okay. It can have +2 move. That's pretty cool. We've got enhanced power. This ability may be used anytime a figure casts a spell that generates a shooting attack. For each shooting attack generated, the figure may roll 3 dice for that shooting attack and pick the best one. The player must decide to use his ability before any dice are rolled. This heroic ability is an exception to the rule that only one heroic ability spell may be used. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So you can like soup up a like Kamehameha blast. That's kind of cool. Evade. The ranger may make a free 1-inch move to leave combat. That's actually pretty cool. We might take that. Focus allows us to add +8 to any skill roll. That one's super good. That one's super good. Halt Undead allows us to stop undead. Hand of Fate. The ranger may re-roll 1 die. Alright, so that I definitely want, because I like the idea that my guy's eye is like some kind of magic thing. So we're going to take Hand of Fate. So we're going to go Hand of Fate. Re-roll 1 dice. Okay. That one we want. Parry allows a character to like soup up their defense roll and then basically if they soup up their defense roll, it allows them to take no damage. So that's pretty cool. The hero may add +3 damage to any hand-to-hand attack that has already dealt at least 1 point of damage. That's pretty good. Quick cast. A figure that activates and has 2 or more actions may use this ability. What is that? During activation, it may use 2 activations to cast spells. This overrides the normal rules that only 1 spell may be cast during the figure's activation, and 1 action may be movement. That's kind of cool. Roll with the punches allows you to half the damage that's coming in. Shove allows you to move someone back 4 inches instead of 1 when you get out of combat with them. That one's pretty cool because it allows you to do stuff like push people off edges and stuff. Split cast. This ability may use anytime a figure casts a spell that has a specific target figure or target point. The caster may choose 2 different targets for the spell, resolving the full effect of the spell on both targets. For example, if figure casts heal, it can heal 2 figures within 6. If it casts smoke, it places 2 hands of smoke. That's actually really cool. Because like I think there's one in here that's like a magic missile essentially. You could just have it zap 2 people. That's actually super cool. Alright, we'll keep that one in mind. Alright, let's see what we have. Enchanted Steel imbues a melee weapon with magic power. That one I actually want. That one I want because it's like a weird supported one. Enchanted Steel. +1. Fight. Make weapon magic. And the reason I want that is generally when you have like a spellcaster character, on like the first turn, lots of times you don't have a lot to do. So having some kind of like buff or something is really useful, usually in these kind of games. At least it is in Frostgrave and Stargrave. I'm assuming it's going to be the same here. So alright, let's see. Fireball. Wow, that one's just, you literally just throw out a fire grenade. That's really cool. God, could I like use that to make like a super fire thing with the split cast thing? You could. Oh, you could make like a crazy firestorm that just hits everybody by basically almost stacking the points on top of each other. So like you would cast one like here, and then you cast one like right next to it, and it would just continuously hit everything. That's a cool idea. Just be able to do like a crazy super Hadoken. Maybe nuke a whole bunch of enemies. That would be pretty cool. Amphibious. The character automatically passes swim rolls. Let's see. You can automatically pass a perception roll. That's kind of cool. You can glow, which will make all shooting attacks harder to hit you. There's a heal, which is good, but I'm not going to give it to my ranger because I'm going to have a guy whose entire job it is to heal. You can hold creatures. Targeted spell receives +2 armor. That's pretty good. Burning light. Let's see. Insect climb. Does not suffer any movement penalties when climbing. In other words, do not count distance climbed as double for this figure. The figure resolves +10 to all climb skill rolls. That's pretty cool. Burning mark. The player. This is basically a mine. So basically, you put a mark on the ground, and then when something moves into it, it explodes. The really shitty thing with that is you could like place it under a creature, and then when the creature goes to move, it's gonna go off. Create a 2-inch diameter circle of caltraps. Any figure moving through the circle suffers 2 points of damage and must make a will roll. If it ends, the activation ends immediately. That's pretty cool, actually. Let's see. You can place a magical ladder. Immediately cast a spell anytime it's called upon to make a navigation skill roll. God, there's so many of them now. So in the regular version, there is way less of these. There's like maybe a third of these spells. So this is actually super cool. Just in the deluxe version. You can leap forward. You can create light. You can slow something. You can make smoke. You can gain a increased strength. You can force the creature to move up to 5 inches in any direction. Oh, you can't force it to like walk off a cliff or through fire though. That kind of sucks. Cause that could be kind of funny to like just walk things off cliffs. You can fire a magic bolt. You can summon a crow. The creature summons a crow to his aid. At the end of the turn, place a bird in contact with the caster. The bird has the same stats as a raptor, except it only has armor 10 and no skills. Treat the bird as a companion. At the end of the bird's activation, each turn, roll a die. 16 plus the bird flies off and is removed from the table. Oh, that's kind of cool. You can like summon a buddy. I have like a little flying squig that I could totally use for that. I could totally use a flying squig for that. That's really cool. All right, we're doing summon crow because I want to summon a flying squig. All right, what other special effects does it say? Bird is the same stats as a raptor. Only armor 10. That's really cool. I like that one a lot. Alright, so I've got a reroll. I have Enchanted Steel, which is going to make a weapon magic. I have Summon Crow. I would like some kind of projectile attack. I think I want the Fireball one. Because I think that's cool that I can hit multiple things. Oh god, there's still more. Translate, Transpose, Weakness, Shield of Light, Teleport. All right, there's a lot of them. I want a Fireball. Let's do Fireball. Fireball, and I think for 2 inches plus 3 shooting attack. And I think just for like ease of gameplay, there was the one that let me add +8 to a skill roll. I think I'm going to use that one just to ease out gameplay. So we're going to do focus. So focus, and that's going to be +8 to a skill roll, or +5 to fight roll. That will just kind of let me ease in like the scenarios and stuff. Like if I really need to pass one of the checks, I think that's probably a pretty good one. All right, so I've spent 3 points on. I've spent 3 points on my stats. I've bought 5 skills, which is still the maximum. And then I think there's 2 more things we can do. As I've got 2 skill points left. Or 2 ranger points left. River Ranger is a high-trained agent of the king. As such, the development several skills. Blah, 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 blah. For each build point a ranger spends, he may increase 8 different skills to +1 each. So that's pretty good. And then I think there's also a thing where I can increase my recruitment points, where for each build point I spend, I get 10 recruitment points. So I'm going to do this because I heard this is pretty good to do if you're playing by yourself. And if you don't play by yourself, this is kind of worthless, but I don't ever see having someone else in the game with me on this one. So, yeah. Let me bounce back real quick. Okay, cool. Okay, so you can increase your stats. You can get abilities and skills. You can get recruitment points. And you can increase... you can get spells and heroic abilities and then increase skills. Okay, so I'm going to take one of my last build points as recruitment because I want a little bit bigger of a team because I think it'll make playing the game easier by myself. And then we're going to take +1 to these skills. So I'm going to take, let's see, take +1 to read runes. And then we'll just, let's see. take the stuff that I think, like, survivalist kind of stuff that I think would be pretty useful. Alright, so I've got 3 more. So we'll take perception, because that seems like a pretty good survivalist kind of thing. So does climb. I get 1 more. I think we'll take it to navigation. There we go. Okay, so that's my 8 skills. And that's my abilities, and that is my ranger made. Now, he gets some items. I think we do items next. Yeah. Weapons and equipment. Ranger has item slots. Essentially, this means you can carry 6 items. Creating a new ranger, the players may choose up to 5 items from the basic equipment list below. These are all kind of provided by the kingdom you're from, so you don't have to worry about buying any of these, which is really nice. Okay, you can have a bow, a quiver, some rope, a crossbow. Crossbows do more damage, but you have to reload them. You could have a dagger, a shield, a staff, a hand weapon, heavy armor, light armor, a throwing knife, a holy icon, 2-handed weapon, or a spell book. That's kind of cool. So the spell book's going to allow you to save any uncast spells for the next scenario. Ooh, a wand. What does that do? Let's see. The Kingdom of Alador maintains a small armory of magical equipment for its spellcasters. This equipment is both rarer and more expensive than conventional weapons. It is stored in a separate, more heavily guarded locations. Rangers are allowed to draw upon these stores, but with limitations. Any ranger that is also a spellcaster, but not companions, may take one and only one of these items at a time. After any missions, he may trade the item for another or replace the item that was lost. It is possible ranger may acquire one of these items during his adventures. In this case, the item will be considered his personal property and should be used. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Alright, so this actually isn't in the standard rules at all. So if you get the one on Amazon, this isn't in there. Alright, so let's see what we have. There's a wand. Well, carrying a wand, a figure adds +1 to the roll for any shooting attacks generated by spell it casts. That's kind of cool. Wizard's Staff. This item follows all the rules for the staff weapon of the following additions. Figure makes a will roll while carrying the staff. It may trade its own health to increase the roll by 1-for-1 basis. Oh, that's kind of cool. So that's like a Frostgrave thing, because you can do that in Frostgrave. Additionally, whenever a figure carrying its wizard's staff activation may spend 1 point of health to make the staff count as a magic weapon until its next activation. That's pretty cool. So that's basically like the Frostgrave rolls. Focusing Crystal. If a figure carrying the Focusing Crystal casts a spell that forces a target to make a will roll, the target number for will rolls increased by 2. Okay, so that's kind of cool for like hold monster and stuff. I kind of want one of these magical equipment. I don't know if I want the staff or the wand. The wand would make the fireball more damaging, which would be pretty cool. And I don't really have any spells that require a target number. Alright, you know, let's take the wand, because I think that's cool. Alright, so let's take the wand, because I think that's neat. That's going to be +1 to shooting spells. And I have the fireball spell, so that'll be pretty cool. Eventually, I'd like to get that magic missile spell too. Alright, so let's see. My guy does have a staff, so I'm going to give him a two-handed weapon. Alright, so let's do that. Weapon is +2 damage. And we're going to give him... I don't know, light armor, I guess? I think that's probably it, because all the rest of the stuff is not super useful. Because the holy icon is not very useful for us. Yeah, the rest of the stuff is... I mean, we could give him a throwing knife. But I don't see super a lot of point in having it. But, so let's do light armor. Light armor is +1 armor. So that's going to bring his armor up to 11. Yeah, I think we'll just call our gear there, and we're just going to have a couple extra slots. Alright, so that is my Ranger, Boggle. He is completely done. We have made him. He is ready to get rock. Alright, now the game's going to take us through the basic rules. We're not going to worry about these until next Sunday, when we're going to play our first game. And when we do that, we'll go through the basic rules and do like a how to play thing. But what we want to do, it's a weird wall butthole. What we want to do is come down here and look at the different companions. Just let me... Sorry, I was just checking that to make sure there wasn't any comments or anything. Alright, so we want to come down here. And we want to look at the different companions. And these are going to be the guys helping our buddy out. For my companions, I'm going to be drawing from basically all of the Gloomspite kits Underworld Warbands to make like a list of companions. Because they're all kind of like fun, kind of one-off, like silly models. And those kind of models work super, super good for games like this because they tend to have a lot of like personality and stuff. That's why I'd used all the like Cursed City minis when I played the really disappointing Silver Bayonet, right? Because they all have like lots of like personality and stuff. All right, so we can have an Arcanist. This guy's kind of meh as far as his stats go, but he has a lot of like knowledge of arcane lore and runes and stuff. We can have an archer. The archer can have a bow or a crossbow. We can have a barbarian. This is like a melee bruiser kind of character who really specializes in fight. We can have a conjurer. This is like a spellcaster for us. They can have 2 spells, which is pretty cool. And you can pay more points if you want them to have a third. You can have a guardsman. This is like a 2-handed melee fighter with like a person with like a polearm or a greatsword or something. You can have 3 different kinds of hounds. So one of these is a standard dog. The other one is like a fighting dog. And the third one is a like tracking dog, which is pretty much the standard fighting dog, but has a bunch of like extra tracking skill rolls and stuff. You can have a knight who is sort of like more of a defensive focused he's like a defensive focused fighter. So like if the barbarian is more offensive, this guy is more defensive. You can have a man at arms, which is just kind of like a generic trooper, right? This is just like a super generic like foot soldier kind of guy. You can have a raptor, which is a bird. You can have a recruit, which is a really shitty foot soldier, who's very cheap. You can have a rogue, which has a ton of like pick locks and all those kind of roles. So very useful to have for a scenario. You can have a savage, which is I guess a savage is more of a melee focused fighter. I don't know. I guess the savage is a two-handed version of a barbarian. That's what that seems like. And there's a swordsman. So this is a person with like a hand weapon and a dagger. You can have a Templar, which is a two-handed weapon version of a knight, which is pretty cool. Oh yeah, look, the savage doesn't have any armor. Interesting. Okay. Then you can have a tracker, who is just that, a tracker. So we're gonna bounce back here because I want to look at some minis. So we've already seen my boss, who's painted. I apologize, the rest are not, but we're working there. We're getting there. We'll be there by next weekend. We have the flying bat that he can summon, the flying crow that he can summon now, which is really cool. I didn't even know that was an ability, because that's not an ability in the one in the Amazon Prime book. I want to have a crossbowman. So this is like the squig catapult from the guys I just opened a couple days ago, like Grinrax Looncourt. This is like a squig catapult. So this one I want to have as a crossbowman, right? So he's going to be 20 points. I also want to have this guy as a Templar. So this is a guy like riding a squig. Again, not fully painted yet, but getting there. I want to have this guy as a Templar. So he's going to be a double-handed melee kind of knight, right? So this guy's going to be 20 points as my archer. This guy's going to be 35. So it's going to bring me to 55 points right there. Okay. Now, in the game, there are bonuses for like being in combat. So let's say we take this stormtrooper who's not fully painted yet either, right? And we say we move into combat with that stormtrooper and we go to fight him, right? If that stormtrooper already has somebody in combat with him, I'm going to get a +2 to my fight roll. So I'm going to get a big benefit there in coming to fight this stormtrooper for having that person with him. So if I have this knight, I really want him to have a buddy, because that will make him way more efficient in combat and really increase his chances of surviving. So I'm going to give him this Bloodhound. So 35 plus, or not Bloodhound, Warhound. 35 plus 20, 55, 75. Alright, so that's going to give me 75 points. I have 110. Alright, now I put way too much thought into this. I also really want someone that can cast heal, right? It is like kind of a supportive kind of healer, right? Just because being able to heal is really nice. You can use it to sort of like freshen up your guys. So they're not just constantly getting ticked down, ticked down, ticked down. So I've got this guy here huffing and puffing on this mushroom. Again, he will be painted fully. He is going to be my healer. So he's going to be my conjurer, and he's going to know heal twice. So that's going to bring me to 95 points right there. Now, I have 110. Oh crap, I guess that is 95 points. Okay, so like, what, 50? I guess I didn't think of this through as well as I thought I did. 55, 75, 95. I thought I also got this guy on my team. Because if I put him in right now, that's 115, and that's too many points. I don't have that many points. I only have 15 points. I thought I had more. Crap, I'm bad at math. Okay. Alright, well, we're going to add this in as a hound. This is a little mushroom. Hello! Yeah, my little mushrooms. So this is a little mushroom. So he's going to be 5 points. So that will bring me to 100 points. So my standard team is going to be these 5 guys plus my boss and the bird he can summon. I thought I also got this guy. But I guess I'm just really bad at math. So. Oh. So yeah, okay. So I have 10 points left. I could take another squig. Or I could take a recruit. Let's go back and look at those stats real quick and see which one we want to do. Alright. So, I could take a recruit who just has a hand weapon. Or I could just take another squig. I could take another warhound and have double squig action. Actually, my whole team would basically be dogs. I would like to use that 10 points. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that. We're going to take another squig. There we go. Or, I've got a lot of squigs on the team already. I've already got 2 squigs. You know what? Let's take a recruit. Yeah, just for the fun of it. We'll do this guy with the net because he's kind of silly and fun. All right, so that gives me my finalized team right there. We could potentially take this guy instead, who's like, yeah, you know, we'll take him as the recruit. That's funnier than the guy with the net. So we'll take the guy with the ball and chain as the recruit. And there we go. So that will be my finished team. So it's going to be 6 guys, plus Boggle, my leader, and then the bird that Boggle can summon. So let's go back to our fillable form. There we go. And the fillable form has space for these dudes. Alright, so we're going to have a... Let's see, we're going to have a Templar. I'm going to write this down so I don't forget it. Wow, this is really big. We're going to have a Warhound. There we go. We're going to have a Archer. We're going to have Conjurer. we're gonna have a mushroom, which is a dog. we'll just leave it as mushroom. And then we're gonna have a recruit. There we go. All right, that's gonna be our 6 guys. We can fill in their stats. So let's see. Let's start with the recruit. 6 plus 2 and 10 health. 10, 6, let's see, plus 2, 0, 0, 0. Okay. Oh wait, no, he must have 10 armor. Everybody has 10 armor if they don't have anything else. Alright, so that's going to be our recruit. And then we're going to have a hound at 10 armor, 8 move, minus 2 will. So 6 minus 2, 10, 0, 0, 8. Okay. We have a conjurer. It's weird how that text got weird there, but it is what it is. Okay, so let's find the conjurer. He's going to be 6, 10 plus 3, 12. 12 plus 3, 6, 0, 0, 10. And he's going to have heal. Heal times 2. Okay. Let's see. They both have hand weapons. Hand weapon, which is +1 fight. Him and the recruit both have that. There we go. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Then we have our Archer, Warhound, and Templar. Okay, so let's check them. We have the Archer is 6 plus 2 plus 2, 11. Plus 1 and 10. Man, he's good. Okay. 6 plus 2 plus 2, 11 plus 2. I think it was 10, right? Double check that. Will is +1. And he has a crossbow, which is +2. Is it +2 to fight or just +2 damage? Does not say. Alright. Crossbow and dagger, which is -1 damage. Okay. Then we have the Warhound, which is going to be basically the same stats as the Hound, but a little more life and a little more fight. Okay, so it's going to be 8. And then we have +1, 0, 10. 0 will. Is it 8 life versus 6? Is that what it is? Yeah. Oh, will is -2. Sorry. -2. Because he's a doggo. And then we have our Templar. Where's the Templar? There he is. 5 plus 4. Okay. So he only moves 5 because he has heavy armor on. Plus 4, 0 shooting, 12 armor. 12 armor plus 2, 12. Fucking arm's getting sore. And he has a two-handed plus 2 damage. There we go. And that is my full team for Boggle. There we go. That is my whole Rangers of Shadowdeep team. I got 6 guys, including what's going to be a walking mushroom, a warhound, a Templar, an archer, a conjurer, and a recruit. And then I have my ranger right here, and the bird that he can summon. It's a squig, because of course it is. And yeah, that is pretty good. That's my, that's pretty much everything that I need to set up for Rangers of Shadowdeep. So, Rangers of Shadowdeep has a, like, starting scenario, which is like a mission with a couple scenarios inside of it. That's what we're going to do first, and we're going to play that next Sunday, which is pretty sweet. I think the first one is pretty much my guys versus some zombies, and then I think we fight some giant evil spiders and try to burn down their houses. I think that's pretty much what we do. I think that's the gist of the starting missions, and then I think there's a couple more starting missions after that, and then we start the like big campaign. The starting missions are kind of to give you the feel of it and also give you a little bit of progression with your guys before you start off into the big campaign, which is a little bit harder. Those starting missions, if you have bad dice, can definitely be very hard though. So hopefully our little pack of 7 dudes here can survive it, but we'll just have to see. But I am super excited to be playing another like kind of story focused tabletop solo game. It should be really good. But yeah, it should be super good. And we'll just have to wait and see how it all goes down. As far as this year in review, spoiler alert, this was my favorite game of the year. Battletech Alpha Strike was easily my favorite game of the year. It's just wonderful. I really cannot say enough good things about it. But after that would probably be Space Station Zero, and then One Page Rules and Stargrave. So pretty cool. And then my least favorite game of the year, and the biggest disappointment of the year was probably 5 Parsecs from Home. I just really did not like that rulebook. The way it's written is surprisingly kludgy for a game that's supposed to be very open-ended. And then I really did not like Silver Bayonet either. Largely because of the dice. Using the lower dice tend to have really crazy swingy dice. So your guys either did nothing or they got one shot. It did not have the bigger variation of dice of like Stargrave and stuff. My favorite model of the year? I don't know, to be honest. The favorite model I did this year is this guy. I am adding little rocks. I just haven't painted them yet. My favorite model I did this year was this guy. I love him to pieces. I think he's a really fun kit bash. And I think I did a really good job painting him. He's nice and dirty, but has some nice little snippets of bright color. And I thought the plague priest standing on him was really cool. The fun thing is I can use him as either a mega gargant or a plague furnace, which is really fun. But yeah, a little bit of a kind of chill year as far as hobby stuff went. I finished 2 armies this year, my Ossiarch Bone Reapers and my Slaves to Darkness. And I painted a shit ton of Star Wars stuff. My second favorite model is probably the Rancor that I did that I've been showing off everywhere. Really happy with that. Really happy with that. But yeah. But it should be a good year. And moving into next year, we'll be doing lots of, or this year, I guess, we'll be doing hopefully lots of Rangers of Shadowdeep in the beginning, and then we'll be doing some Stargrave a little bit later once I sort out the train. But next weekend for our first game of Rangers of Shadowdeep, I'll get these guys all painted up and ready to go, and it should be a good time. Yeah. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call it. Thank you guys for watching. I was planning on doing a big year in review kind of video, but honestly, all the videos I did this year kind of do a better job showing that than I can really say, right? Because when I do videos and stuff, I don't really I don't shy away when I'm not feeling well, right? I don't try to have a persona online or anything like that, or give my videos a certain feeling, right? The videos are kind of a reflection of how I am at that time, right? If I'm happy or sad or really tired or whatever. You can probably see me running out of energy in the video right now. I'm just kind of yeah, it's just because I'm running out of energy, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like the videos kind of do a better job of that than what I could actually say of it. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call it. Thank you guys for watching me make the Rangers Shadowdeep team. And they will go on their first adventure next weekend on Sunday. And it should hopefully be a really good time. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Thank you guys for watching. And